January 6th, you write about Ivanka Trump, who was one of the few people. I mean, one thing that's striking about January 6th is how empty the building was.
Yeah.
Robert O'Brien was traveling in Florida. Jared was coming back from a trip to the Middle East. The place seemed kind of empty, and there weren't many people around. But one person who was there in her second floor office, as you described, is Ivanka Trump. And you write of something she said in the morning, so before the speech, before the riot. You write that she said, this is regarding Giuliani and what Giuliani had been saying, about the election fraud and on and on. This is not right. This is not right. Who did she say that to? Was that something she said to herself, or who did she say that to?
John, she said that while she was standing on the outside of the Oval Office. She sort of whispered it to a couple of advisors who were within earshot of her. It was at the same time that President Trump was at the desk on the telephone with Vice President Pence, who was back home at the Naval Observatory. This is in the morning before Trump went out to the ellipse to give his speech, before Pence made his way to the Capitol to begin presiding over that joint session of Congress. And Trump was pressuring Pence on the phone to do what Trump thought to be the right thing, which was to effectively use his power as the vice president to overturn the results of the election. And Ivanka felt that was wrong. She said that's not the right thing. She then, after the phone call ended, according to our reporting, went into the private dining room of her father and spoke to him one-on-one to try to persuade him. She was obviously not effective there, because the president proceeded to go out to the ellipse and make his feelings about Pence known to the world. But in the afternoon, we learned, once Trump got back to the White House, once the rioters broke into the Capitol and began the siege there, Ivanka had to be called into the Oval Office multiple times by the Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, to try to get her father into a mental place where the president would be able to call off his supporters. Remember, it took 2 hours for him to finally issue that video saying, stand down and go home. He also said, of course, we love you.
Yeah.
But for the daughter who is said to have this special sort of relationship with her father, even she couldn't break through until the end there. And it just speaks to Trump's determination to permit this riot to continue, because it was a show of force in his own name under his banner.
So you also write that Ivanka went. You point out that she attended the rally but did not speak. I want to read a passage from your riveting chapter on January 6th. You write, Ivanka Trump did not appear on stage. However, rally organizers repeatedly asked her to give a speech, but she declined. The first daughter told aides she had become increasingly uncomfortable with efforts to overturn the election results. Yet she told them she decided to attend because she hoped to calm the president and to keep the event on an even keel. Now, if that in fact was her goal, she obviously failed miserably. What I'm wondering, she's obviously has. This is the story that Ivanka tells. Do you believe it? Do you believe that she was really trying to calm her father? And do you see any sign that before January 6th, she was actually taking any actions whatsoever to get him off this, the repeated lies and the disaster that everybody could see coming? Is there any effort that she really, if she felt so uncomfortable and she felt that this was so wrong, that she actually did anything about it before, this failed effort, I guess, on January 6th?
Based on our reporting, John, it appears that, as her, Ivanka was essentially the stable pony for her father. And she came in to essentially calm down the racehorse. But our reporting also indicates that while she may have been feeling these things and whispering them quietly to aides, she wasn't very forceful, at least in the beginning. But when things fell off the rails after rioters breached the Capitol, after everyone could see essentially one of the icons of democracy under assault, under literally a battlefield on the Capitol Hill. When that happened, a lot of people started to get very worried, and she was among them. Multiple times, she was brought down by Mark Meadows, the chief of staff, to return to the office to try again to persuade her father to make a stronger statement. No, 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 just a little stronger, to quell, to call off the dogs, essentially. And I take your point, though, and Phil and I both are really on guard for this, and were in the reporting. I take your point that wasn't a very effective spokesperson and calm her for her father, at least before, as the storm was growing and was obvious to so many.